Faithfulness means that you're faithful in your tithes and your offerings. You're faithful in your prayer life. You're faithful in your reading. You're faithful to be kind to people. You're faithful to be there when people need you. Hey, listen to me. I'm not talking about being used, because some people will just use you.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about being faithful where God called you to be faithful at.
Yeah.
Right.
Amen? It's not easy.
Mm-mm.
I'm not going to tell you it's easy, but it's necessary. Amen? Everything that's necessary is not easy. Sometimes it's very difficult, but it's still necessary. Amen? Meekness. Meekness. Strength, but yet in humility. You understand what meekness is? Meekness is strength, but in humility.
Right.
Amen? I'm not boasting in my power, I'm just walking in it.
Right.
Yes.
Amen?
Yeah.
How about that? I'm not boasting in my power, I'm not boasting in what God has done through me, I'm just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Amen? And then looking back and wondering how I did it.
Right.
That's meekness. Temperance. This is where I used to struggle with. I had such a problem with temperance. Temperance means self-control. Self-control. Man,
I used to have it.
somebody said he loses temper at the drop of a hat. I'd usually drop my own hat. Amen. I had a horrible temper. Man, the least little thing would set me off. And the devil usually put someone in my life that knew where the buttons was and how to push it.
Right.
And they would just sit there.
And push it. And push it.
I had someone say, I don't understand. I like to push him until he goes, goes crazy, and then I'm okay. Someone literally said that. I like to push him until he snaps, and once he snaps, I'm okay.
It wasn't me.
That was demonic. No, it wasn't you, but you were probably thinking it though. It's demonic. It's fleshly. It's carnal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen? But thank God over time I grew out of that.
I think it's mean.
Amen? I still lose my temper on occasions.
Sure.
You
We
know?
all do.
But not like it was when I was young. I'm going to tell you something. I thank God that I got saved at such a young age because the way I had such an inability to control myself, I probably would have, if I hadn't died myself, I probably would have killed somebody, BB. Somebody would have gotten me mad. Somebody would have cut me off. Somebody would have said something I didn't like, and I would have pulled a pistol out and shot him. But thank God He saved me from all of that
Yes.
at a very early age.
I praised it.
Amen? And I'm not saying that to pat me on the back or make me look tough. No, man, I'm not tough. But a lot of times you do things out of anger without thinking about it, and then you regret it moments later.
Yeah.
Even after I was a Christian, one day I jumped out with a screwdriver going after someone. I was going to stab them. Thank God somebody that I cared for got in front of me and said, don't do this to yourself.
Right.
They didn't say don't hurt him. They said don't do this
Do
to
it
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I came to my senses.
Yeah.
I was a Christian girl and I still had the temper to jump out and hurt somebody. Amen? Jesus is good, man.
Yes,
Only-
he is.
He's good.
Only
And He
human.
loves us. He's concerned about us.
Jesus.
Amen?
Oh,
Yep.
I do.
You're only human.
It says temperance, against such there is no law. And they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with the affections and lust. In other words, they put to death their lust and their affections. They put to death. Remember what we were talking about earlier about submitting your entire being to Him?
Yeah.
Your lust and your affections, your desires, your love, your compassion. Submit it to Him, and you'll stop loving yourself and you'll start loving others. Amen. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Love you, Gil. We're almost done, Gil. I'm finishing this last verse. You can go on. Let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, or envying
Busted.
one another. Don't provoke one another.
Right.
Don't envy one another. You know, a lot of times I was just teasing. God, you're welcome. We envy what other people have.
Right.
We don't know what it took to get it. Love you, Gal. We'll see ya. Are you listening to me? We envy people's life not knowing what it took for them to get what they have.
Right.
Amen? We don't know their struggle. We don't know their pain. We don't know their difficulties.
Right.
And we envy them. Man, I wish I had a life like that. No, you don't. No, you don't. People look at me and they say, I'm sure there's some that says, man, I wish I had what Brother Tim has. You don't. You don't know what I've gone through in my life.
Right.
Amen. You don't know the pain of seeing your family members tragically taken. Sister Marlene, you do. Amen. You do. Amen. You don't know what it's like. Well, most of you all do. But the struggle to pay your bills every month. Amen.
Yeah. Yep.
I shared before. I said, God, everybody in the church is getting new cars but me. The Lord said they're getting new car payments too.
Yeah. Exactly.
See, I was envying. And God told me, look, there's a downside to everything that they have.
Right.
You know, you might have a young man that has a beautiful wife, and you say, man, I sure wish I had a wife like that. Then you come to find out that woman will put that man through HE double toothpick.
I like that.
Are you listening to me? Don't envy people. Because you don't know what they're going through.
Right.
On the surface, it looks great.
Right.
I was watching a program one day. I shouldn't have been watching this program. After a while, I quit watching it because they had so suggestive. That the guy his brother was talking about if anything happened to him, he would inherit everything he had. And the brother told him, said, it's all a house of cards, man. See, you don't want what I got? So I'm ready to lose everything.
Yeah.
Amen. We look at somebody who's got a big, fine house, and we say, man, I wish I had a house like that. Well, the man has a house payment. That he has to work, he has to leave his family alone, he has to struggle just to make a payment. And if something were to happen, if he got sick, he'd lose it within a year.
Right.
And we envy them. Be happy where you're at. And before I close, I'm going to say this. I had a friend, we worked at the cable company, and he was a good guy, man. I really think the world of him. But he was living in he bought a house about the same time I bought my house. And he decided, actually, I lost my job, and they gave him my route, and his pay went from like $45,000 to $95,000. And then he was talking about, you know, he needed to get out of the neighborhood. But the neighborhood he was at, it was starting to get bad. And he said, you know, my kids go out in the yard, and you can hear the people in the next yard cussing and carrying on. He said, I got to get them out of here. So they decided to buy a brand new house out in Brunswick Hills, and he was telling me, I'm concerned also because, you know, Cablevision is buying it. I mean, Time Warner's buying Cablevision out, or Adelphia out. He says, and I don't know, you know, what my future holds. I said, brother, then, you know, be patient, stay here. You know, don't go moving into a place that you can't afford.
Right.
And he said, well, he says, I just can't keep my kids here anymore. And you know, my neighborhood started going bad too, and I wanted to get out of there, but I wasn't going to take a chance.